views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Silver-Gaia Academy, the journey to Gaia with Dr. Bree Gibbs. We are always evolving as part of the planet. The Silver-Gaia Academy is here to help guide you on your spiritual journey. Learn about the Gaia, the Mother of Earth, and how even our words can affect the planet and the universe. Learn the true meaning of the word goddess, what it means that we are divine beings, and so much more. We are here to help the planet raise its vibration. Will you rise to the occasion? Now here's your host, Bree.
Welcome everyone to Silver Gaia Radio. I have two amazing guests with me today. First of all, Kathryn Leeman. I'm so glad you're back with us. You've become a permanent part of Silver Gaia. I just want to say thank you. And I have a special guest and my very special friend, Susan Harmon, from the Susan Harmon Hour on KKNW. So we're all together today to talk about dreams. Hey, hi there, Kathryn. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for bringing me back on the show. And I get to meet Susan. This is great, It's just lovely.
We're going to have fun. So, I really liked your idea about talking about there are three types of dream. Your living dream, the daydream, and your night dream. And I always call that sleep state, night dreams, right? Mm-hmm. And, with three shamans sitting on the air right now, this is going to be fun. Because we all have different views, Right. And so can you kind of explain the difference between the three dreams for us?
Sure. I don't call myself a shaman, but I am a medicine woman.
Me either.
And, I just move into one of what my medicine teachers told me was about the three dreams. And it's very important. If we want to live in harmony and balance, we have to pay attention. This is what I have my students do. They need to keep track of their daydream. Where is their mind wandering during the day? Because wherever our mind goes, that tells us where we're trying to set up our future. And if we don't like, what we're daydreaming about, are we daydreaming about getting in trouble or some disaster or whatever, we need to call our spirit back and say, no, we're not going down that road to create that reality in our future. So what I have them do is give everything a movie title or a book title. And what was the title at the end of the day? What was the title of your daydreaming? What were you daydreaming about the most today? And if you could title it, what kind of a title would you give it? And then the living dream is how did your day go today? How did your reality, what was it like today? If you could, was it, chaos in the grocery store, you're going to title it, or was it, what was the overall theme? Jumping ship, it could be anything. And then your night dream, when you wake up, when you have your dreams at night, what kind of dream? What would be the one that stuck out the most, maybe, and give it a title. And even if you're not dreaming or you only remember a snippet, give it a title, or notice when you wake up in the morning, what emotion you're feeling. Are you happy, sad, distant? And write that down. And what I have them do is for a year, they track their dreaming, because when their daydream, their living dream, and their night dream can all line up, then they're in a synchronistic pattern, and then miracles can happen. Literally, they can make things manifest very quickly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I have them keep track as they put a black bead. They have a very long string, and they create this dreaming necklace where they put a black bead on for the night dream. They put a yellow bead on for the living dream and a white bead on for the daydream. And so, if they can't remember their night dream, then there's no black bead. But at the end of the year, they will look at their necklace and they will see what it is that they've created how they've kept track and look through their journal. And it's amazing what they begin to discover about themselves.
Right. And so how did you learn that one? Because in the Goddess Light, we learned that also as shamans, right? To do the different beads. That's what I'm going, wait a minute, that's kind of cool because we do the same.
Well, when I was learning through my shaman and wise woman teacher, Angela Zarian, she taught it. In the
cool
way, yeah. So I learned this, probably 25 years ago.
Right. So it must have been a big thing back then, but it is really cool to be using it. And it's needed to be used now again. A lot of people have forgotten about it.
Right. They got to track where we're going. People complain about their reality, but they got to start tracking what it is, that they're.
It's interesting to me what you're saying, talking about people in present time dreaming. One of the things that I did, this is Susan talking, by the way, is that when, like with my children, when they would come in and say, I had a bad dream, I would bring them into bed with me, and then I'd say, go back to sleep and dream it right.
Right on.
Have that. And so that early training, do you know what I mean? Go back and redream it and dream it right.
Right. And that's what I tell people too. It's like, you don't like it, go back and dream it. Redream
it. Redo it. And you can do that as an adult, but if people start learning that as children, so if as parents do that with our children, it gets them set into that pattern of how real their dreams actually are.
I love that. In Africa, when I was over in Africa for a while, I love the way the mothers woke up their children because their philosophy was that during the dream time, their souls were out traveling. So they had a song that they would chant to bring the soul back home in order to wake the children up. And in the Maori tradition, they always talk about their dreams before they go out and start their day, because their dreams tell them what it is they need to do in the village for the day, so yeah.
But that's when your conscious and your unconscious are communicating in a very positive, very clear, very transparent way.
Sometimes, and so in the dreaming, we've got, the dreams, and maybe we'll talk about this in the next segment, but it has to do with the interpretation of dreams has to be so careful.
Correct.
They can be interpreted mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. We've got the unconscious, the subconscious, the conscious, the superconscious. We've got all those states of dreaming. It's like, there's alpha dreams and theta dreams and delta dreams. Or they say there's no dreaming in Delta. I disagree, but
so do I.
There's dreams are very complex. I did my master's thesis on the dream world and how they related to movies. And when people see movies, they often go home and dream because it's archetypal. We'll have to have another show on archetypes, but it's very archetypal and how our dreams are our movies. And what are we going to do to be the director?
The star and the director.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying because I know that, and you're aware of it, I had a certain dream, right? And I've had to make sure that I am directing it very carefully on how it's being done.
Right.
Because if I don't, it slides me just off a little bit.
Well, for me, sometimes I just leave myself open to what the dreams are going to come in and tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Instead of trying to direct and control it, like what is the information I need to receive?
Yeah, don't you go to bed at night like that and say, okay, or I do it during the day. If I'm meant to know something, you bring it to me, show me.
Now's good. This is a good time.
Now's good. Yeah, bring it up.
But, this is where I want to interject. What about like sometimes people like me that our minds are going, 50 miles an hour, right? And we have to do it in sleep state. So we have to program ourselves to do it in sleep state to be able to accept the information.
So when you're going to bed at night, just absolutely say, okay, I now bring forth the ability to remember my dreams and to know what it is they're conveying to me. Is there something I need to know, or tell me how to handle this situation, or,
So what do you say to people when they say, I never dream? We know they do, but when they say that, I never dream, which means they don't remember their dreams.
I tell them, first of all, yes, you do. If you didn't dream, you wouldn't be alive. But I said you would be psychotic if you didn't dream, because that's true. If people have insomnia and they don't dream, they break down mentally and emotionally. Right. And then I tell them, just start going to bed and start telling yourself, I now remember my dreams, and ask your guides and angels or whatever to assist you and remember the dreams. Just, you've got to, you know what I found out? Most people don't want to remember their dreams because they're terrified of the dream state and what their dreams are going to reveal, because oftentimes they've had issues, bad childhood or whatever. They don't want to remember anything, and they're terrified that something memories will come up in their dream.
I completely agree with that.
I agree. I totally agree with that. Because there's been times where I didn't want to dream and I got the answers I got. And I'm going, you know. So, okay, we only have a couple of minutes. Do you have another question at all? No? Okay, so what I want to find out is, I don't want to say this. So we're dreaming at different levels right now because of new energy.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people have asked me, how do I handle this? How do I do this? What would you suggest for them?
Well, first of all, they always should put a blanket of protection around themselves at night going into the dream state. There are some things I'd like to talk about when we come back from the break. Leonardo DiCaprio did a movie on dreams called Inception. Right. So I'd like to spend a little time on that one, because I think people that's where we're going. And there's stuff happening in the dream state I think people need to be aware about. Not to cause fear, but to create consciousness, awareness and how to handle it,
Well, knowledge is the best dissipation of fear that there is.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, why don't we take a quick break, and we'll be back with more with the Silver Gaia Radio and Kathryn and Susan. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.
At a crossroads in your life, in need of answers, trying to discover your life dream or how to manifest it? Dr. Kathryn Leeman, with a team of angels, guides, master teachers, has been helping people unveil the truth to the path of abundance and freedom for over 40 years. Training with shamans, teachers, and healers globally, Dr. Leeman will guide you to action in discovering your soul's path. Schedule a session today, 915-313-8541. It's 915-313-8541. Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
Tune in to the Angels and Answers Psychic Radio Show with clairvoyants Artie Hoffman and Sky Siegel every Thursday for a 2-hour show, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio. Artie and Sky deliver spiritual and motivational messages with passion and a sense of humor. Call in 800-930-2819 for live and on-air readings. Visit artiehoffman.com and skyofangels.com.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Beyond being this amazing neurologist, inventor, author, Dr. Dan Cohen has been called to look at technology and look at personal and spiritual development and merge these together
This technology uses the healing and psychospiritual effects of synchronized sounds, vibrations, electromagnetic fields, and how that interacts with us in our nervous system in what we're calling the Soul Tech chair.
The Soul Tech Lounge induces profound levels of relaxation that transition over time into deep meditative states. The synchronized sound, vibration, and magnetic field induce these states. The subject doesn't have to work at it.
To learn more, go to soltechwellbeing.com. That's SOLTEC Wellbeing.
Welcome back, everyone. So let's go into this movie that you had seen and you said all your students do, Kathryn.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Leonardo DiCaprio did a movie several years ago called Inception. And it had to do with, he needed to get his life back. But in order to do that, he had to be a thief and go in and steal certain things from other people's states of consciousness, their ideas, their beliefs, what they were doing. He needed to bring back information from the dream state. And so what they did was they gave him some, well, to me, it was a hallucinogenic drug. And they put him into sort of like hooked him up to monitor his dream state. And he was able to literally go into other people's dreams and be able to get the information he needed. People need to know that that's a reality. People can do that. Russians train their psychics to do that all the time.
You do too.
I know. I've talked with some. And sometimes, I'm in other people's dream states, but I'm not there consciously. When I go to bed at night, I want to go to sleep. But I always seem to wake up tired, and then I find out why. Oh, you were in my dream last night, and you were helping me do this and this and this. And it's like, how do I get to stay home? It's so we need to be very aware of there's an accountability and responsibility that we have to managing our dream life and to also protecting ourselves. And just when we go to sleep at night, just saying only love and light, is allowed to be here at this point, setting up that's what dream catchers are for in the Native American tradition, setting up your shield or whatever tradition you're from. But no one is welcome in my dream time unless they are invited. And I make that very clear.
I think you're making a really important point. There's a person that I'm aware of who actually raped women. And then he, after getting out of prison, set up where he had students. And I find out from another person that one of his students, which I was unaware of, said, oh, he's going into his dreams. And I confronted the man and said, you can't do that. You cannot go in. I only do it with my students. I said, you can't do that. It's a misuse of power.
It is a totally misuse of power.
And he used it against these people to manipulate them in real time.
That's true. And I find, and this is, I want our audience to know this is nothing against men whatsoever.
Right. Thank you.
But I have found every single men who call themselves shamans, shamanic man or master teacher of some sort, are very attracted to women and do that. They take advantage and go in and harness that feminine, particularly sexual energy, and they use it for their own purposes.
Yeah, and I'd like to just make a quick comment. Earlier, you had said that you're not, you don't call yourself a shaman. Neither do I, because I feel that the indigenous people on this planet have enough things that have been ripped off from them. And to me, a shaman is someone who's studied for 20 or 30 years under somebody else to be a shaman. And if you haven't done that in that tradition, then you are not a shaman.
Right. And I guess that's where I'm different, because I was trained that way as a child in the goddess light. So with the goddess light is different than the indigenous side. You get what I'm saying? It's different.
Yes. Yeah,
there's a big difference. So I want to put that out there right now. Even though I'm considered a shaman in the goddess light, is completely different.
Right. From the indigenous way. I was trained.
Correct.
I was adopted into a tribe. I was a part of that tribe for 20 years. I was given, the medicine man adopted me as his daughter, and he gave me all of those teachings. Right. But I still, to this day, I'll say yes, I'm a medicine woman, but I'm not a shaman. No.
I totally agree with you. What tribe was that, by the way?
Pardon?
Tribe.
Mescalero Apache.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Know the people well.
So, yeah.
Good. Okay. So, let's get back to dreams now. Because I think it's really important. I know that I've gone through some really strange dreams that have come to life, that were needed to come to life, though. And so it was easier for me to accept things in dream state than it was during the day, because you know how I am. Yeah. I'm calling, going, "Am I losing it or not?" And
no, you're not losing it.
And Kathryn, I've done the same thing with you. What's going on here, right?
Absolutely.
And that's one thing I want to tell people. When you're having these dreams and we're going through different transformations, which we are all daily hitting different transformations constantly, and we're having to accept and bring it to the Golden Heart Center, whatever we're having to do, right? Because you know how lonely I felt for a while there. And I'm going, wait a minute, what about the people that don't have this knowledge that we're listening to today? They're listening to us talk about this. What is the easiest way for them to get this knowledge that we can bring it across them more on a level that they'll understand?
Well, one of the things that's really important, and I do, I had a man call me the other day who wanted me to work with him on dream interpretation. There's a lot of dream interpretation books out there, but people have to be careful. Those are just like guides.
Generalized.
Right.
Very generalized. And what I like to do is I help people to figure out what the language of their soul is. So they can begin to understand the archetypes that show up in their dream time.
Yes.
And, just to be able to write their feelings and their emotions down, and especially if a dream has occurred 3 times or more, there's a message.
Right.
These are messengers. And so people have to know that their dreams are trying to tell them something, and not to be afraid of it, but to seek out some help and learn how, this is something they have to learn, like I did. What is your archetypal language? How do we interpret your dreams, and go from there,
It's very important.
So with, I'm trying to think of a dream that kind of came up. So, okay. So with me, my son was in my dream for 3 days straight. And I'd wake up going, what the heck? What's going on? Why is he just showing up? And then all of a sudden I figured out, oh, he was really sick and he wasn't telling me, right? And he's 18, right?
Your attention.
And he was hanging out with his friends, and he's homesick right now, And I was going, wow, he had to get my attention through sleep, dream state, sleep state, whatever you want to call it. And then he comes home sick as a dog. I'm going, okay, where's the Theraflu?
Well, and I think that's his unconscious was trying to get in touch with you, because his conscious mind is, I'm too strong to do this.
Right.
Right. Now, I've had a recurring dream over the years that I'm in a house, I'm in this place where I live, and either it's a mess or whatever, and all of a sudden I discover other parts of the house, and each room gets more beautiful than the last, and it's just I didn't know I had all of this, It would just it's different versions, but it's the same dream over the years, and it comes along, and it's usually at a point in time where I'm shifting what I'm doing.
You're opening up a whole new aspect and bringing in another layer of the soul of who you are, and that's all that beautiful.
And I'm like, wow, this is so great.
So what if you're seeing stuff like cluttered? Okay, I don't like clutter at all, right?
Right.
Okay, so I had to move a couple boxes off my desk and stuff, right? It was driving me crazy, right? And so when you're going through transformation, you're removing clutter out of your life, right? And you're even seeing it in your dream. You need to clean up your desk, or you need to do this. What's that all about?
That is about the mind being too cluttered. And the life is being so full that your own soul can't communicate with you, per se. Mm-hmm. It's like we need to clear and clean space for new to empty. New to expand, we need to empty the space. So the new can come in. Shui, so that new information can come in. So when we're dreaming like there's a lot of clutter or what have you, then that's generally, it's like we've got too many thoughts running. We've got too many projects going. We need to come back home. We're too scattered and sort of settle down. There's also dreams that people have a lot. I know I've had them consistently over the years, and that has been being chased, running away from something, being chased. Mm-hmm. And so what I used to tell my daughters when they were little, I said, well, you just turn right around and you tell whatever's, chasing you that it needs to stop. Because, it's like, you can't chase me anymore. Or what is it that you want? And that's a technique that people can do. It's like program them to say, what is the purpose of being chased? Usually it's, running away from an authority figure or giving their power away to something. It's all about fear of facing something. And so once a person turns around and confronts it, it like poof goes away and they don't have that dream anymore.
Well, all I know is it made me get up and clean a bunch of stuff I didn't need to clean, but I started scrubbing and doing a bunch of stuff. And then I realized it was energetically I had to clean.
Right. That's another point. Absolutely.
And I'm going, I didn't have to clean my kitchen. Why did I just do this? Why did I, you know what I'm saying, right? And get the pine saw out and do everything. It was like, wow, I can do this. Okay, I'll get it done.
But sometimes it's just cleaning out the energetic space that you need so that you can have these things come through.
Yeah, absolutely. Because let's face it, our auras and energies get plugged up every day with clutter from other people we interact with or just with the atmosphere. So, yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break and we're back more with Dream State. See you in a few minutes.
Diane Robbins, published author and channel, connects our hearts to the hearts of beings in advanced civilizations as she taps into the cosmos. We are living in important times now as we merge our consciousness with these of other realms and raise our vibration and awaken to who we are and why we are here. Learn to live in unconditional love. Visit DianeRobbins.com today and immerse yourself in the many books, newsletters, and channeling Diane has to offer.
Hi, this is Leslie Fontaine. Have you ever tried to just shift your present moment experience? Do it now. Just move your energy in a direction and watch what happens. Often we panic at the blocks that come up and we just stop. But today, try not to do that. Continue from your heart or solar plexus to shift in that new direction, whether it's in the middle of an argument, in the middle of some depression you're feeling, or some discouragement. What happens for you as you do that? The opportunities are amazing. Just hold that space. If you're ready to shift into your best life, visit me at lesliefontaine.com and let's talk about unfolding all that you want to be, do, and have. You'll find sessions, classes, audio products, all to help remove the blocks and move you into your potential. And listen to my show, Sheer Alchemy, on Transformation Talk Radio, Wednesdays at 10 Pacific and 1 Eastern.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Dr. Bree Gibbs is a fourth-generation high priestess with the knowledge to raise your vibration in conscious creation. Offering a wide variety of services from Goddess Light and Shamanic healing seminars to private reading sessions, Bree works with you so you too can stand in your own power. Isn't it about time you took your life into your own hands? For more information about Bree's services and products, visit silver-gaia.net. That's silver-gaia.net.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit thetruthisfunny.com.
Welcome back, everyone. During the break, we've been having a great conversation. So, Susan, you had brought a couple points that you and we were talking about. And I want to talk about them again. I completely forgot what you were talking about.
What was I talking about?
I
know, Kathryn. What was I talking about?
This is where we get fun and have fun around here. So, we're talking about your children and...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. We were talking about the dream state with children, but you know how you can extend that into adults doing the same kind of thing.
Right.
We're still children. We're always children. We're learning continuously. So, you know, I don't intend to ever grow up.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
I tried that and it didn't work out very well.
No, not well. No.
So with kids.
Can we talk a little bit about shamanic dreams?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, there are also those dreamings that shamans take you into using some kind of plant medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say something about that because those kind of dreams are very significant. Those are usually rites of passage. Those usually happen when people are at a crossroads in their life. And, you know, in our culture and in many different cultures, this whole plant medicine thing has been abused.
Absolutely. You know, ayahuasca is a striking example of that.
You know, it was designed originally to lead people into a dreaming state to help them understand their soul's direction. I saw this thing on TV about elephants in Africa, and where once a year the matriarch goes and eats this plant medicine, this hallucinogenic plant, and they filmed her lying down on the ground and rolling around and getting these dreams while the rest of, you know, her tribe stood with her, the herd stood with her, protecting her, creating a sacred circle around her. And then when she was done, she popped up and she knew where to take them to have food and water to survive for the next year. So, I mean, even animals in the wild know about it, you know, but we've used and abused it. And because people want to go into those dreams, that dream altered state of consciousness, because we've lost the shamans that gave us those rites of passage to learn how to do that. So we need to be able to get that dreaming back and to be able to use it in a way where, one, we don't need those plant medicine, but if people do, they need to understand, they need to do it with someone who can protect them, because we're wide open and other entities can come in.
Right. That's really important. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I was just thinking in my head right now. Thank you.
You know,
we be careful with that, because
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying, and I see that. I feel that my job when I'm working with someone energetically is to create a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my main function is to create a safe space.
Right.
And then when you do that, then they can open up and let the information come through from source without me having to be involved in it.
Yeah.
You know, so the shamanic dreaming in the plant state. I mean, I know with peyote. There's very strong ritual that gets involved in how you even take the plant, cutting the plant, never taking the roots.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's so many ways that,
Absolutely.
you know, and following a straight line. There's instructions and all of this. I see people with ayahuasca who have so misused this potent drug in a way that is not right. I mean, I grew up in the 60s, okay? I'm a child of the 60s. You know, LSD, take LSD and set your chickens free, I mean, I got a clap.
clap on that one.
So,
That's funny.
I've been there and I understand, that urge and that desire that we have. I have taken my pyramid and worked with teenagers in that. I'm saying, look, there's no side effects with the pyramid.
Exactly. Yeah. So, our dreaming state is a place that we've been given to be able to communicate with our soul, and it needs to be right. But it needs to be done with respect. It needs to be done with integrity. It needs to be done with grace. And one of the things I want to say too, this trip to Mount Shasta that's coming up.
Right.
That's what we spend time doing, is going and meditating and moving into communicating in the dream state. And the people that have dreamings without plant medicine, the dreaming that happens when you're at a high vibrational energy like that is phenomenal. People had dreams when there with me that absolutely changed their life, when they came back.
Right. And, I went through the dark night of soul, which you're aware of that. And I was like going, and I knew it was coming. Your soul lets you know when you're ready. It's going to come, this big one, your soul has to be ready. So I'm looking for a shaman with peyote, whatever, right? I knew it was coming in a couple days, found the person, and then 8:30 in the morning after my husband went to work, my son went to work, it just started. I had no chance to get to there. And, I'm really thankful that I did not go.
Absolutely.
I really am. It happened in my dining room. I speed dialed Stephanie on number 9 on my phone and said, okay, it's starting now. I need help. And she spent the 2 hours or 3 hours on the phone with me as I'm going through it. And I was seeing everything, And, man, I was not nice then. But I'm really glad I went through it without any drugs whatsoever.
Right. I was in when I went down the Amazon, I took a group. There was a couple of groups of us that combined, and we went down and we went to visit the different tribes in the Amazon. I did not know at the time we left that it was an ayahuasca trip, and that we would be visiting, several of the tribes we'd be visiting were headhunters. And so that was an interesting trip, but I remember we had two shamans on board. And so at night they would stop and take the group into the jungle to do the ayahuasca. And they looked at me and they said, not you.
Right.
They sat me between them and taught me the chants and taught me how to use the different leaves and the rattles to help protect. Everybody else ended up purging, throwing up the whole 9 yards, not getting visions. I ended up getting a ton of visions and being in that field, and I didn't have to take it.
Right.
Not. Tell people is there's a way to access that without it, but every once in a while, if someone is such a control freak, so to speak,
yes.
Issues, they may need one of those to get them over. But like you said, Susan, you've got to be aware that any medicine that they end up taking has been picked, has been prepared, has done all of that in ceremony, for that to happen. So
I can tell you a story about peyote where a guy that we knew back in the day in Texas had gone down to the valley where it grows, and he just started basically raping the peyote field, just taking it, grabbing it, putting him back. Now, mind you, that's very flat there, right? So he's driving back up to Austin, no rain, no nothing, and his truck flips over. The peyote spills out on the road, and he's trapped under the truck and can't get out, and the highway patrol shows up. Now, they gathered up the peyote, they took it to the sheriff's office there, they returned it to the Native Americans.
Wow, sweet.
And he was, now I knew this guy, and we said, we told you, you better respect, this God of the peyote, because if you don't, he's going to get you, and he got you, right? So this went on. Years later, I'm up in New Mexico, and the shaman tells this story. I said, oh yeah, I knew that dude, that did it. But you got to pay attention.
Yep. The dream state is something that needs to be respected.
Right. Absolutely.
And people people need to understand how to work with their dreams. And like I said, at the living dream, the daydream, and the night dream, and get them to line up.
You know, I know for me is I'm always bubbling myself in pink. So I'm staying in that pink bubble with me all the time, no matter if it's day, night, whatever. So then and we have a couple minutes left, but I really want people to know that, because it's so important that we stay in that bubble of pink. And what is pink? Unconditional love. Absolutely. And so that's given us our love that we need. And they can stay in their love state that they need to be in, no matter if they're asleep or not asleep.
Yeah, I think, Kathryn, your point is so well taken that you didn't need to go off and do the ayahuasca because your spirit was clear and clean. You were doing this in a much higher plane already. Right. And I hate the words higher and lower because it implies, but yes, you were there, you were open, you were present, and you wanted to learn.
Right.
But I think everybody has that ability. If they just tap into it and just say, I'm strong enough, I can do this.
Well, that's why when people see me or come into my office, I lead them through a deep guided meditation and take them into an altered state, so they can see that they can do this without them.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Okay. Yep. Well, we got a minute left. I just really want to stress on staying in a love state. Like
staying
you're
in a love state. I do the pink like you do, Bree.
Okay.
I also ask Archangel Michael to put a cobalt blue around me for protection, that sort of stuff, and stay open.
It's interesting. You said pink and she does green, and I always see the heart chakra as watermelon tourmaline, pink and green.
So
my favorites. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to take a quick break. A quick break.
Say that really fast.
A quick break. I'm telling you. All right. We're back in a few minutes. More with Susan Harmon and Kathryn Leeman.
At a crossroads in your life, in need of answers, trying to discover your life dream or how to manifest it, Dr. Kathryn Leeman with a team of angels, guides, master teachers has been helping people unveil the truth to the path of abundance and freedom for over 40 years. Training with shamans, teachers, and healers globally, Dr. Leeman will guide you to action in discovering your soul's path. Schedule a session today, 915-313-8541. It's 915-313-8541.
Get your monthly dose of self-awareness and mindfulness. Learn spiritual regeneration with visionary leader David Carshare in Becoming a Sun Radio, emotional and spiritual intelligence for a happy, fulfilling life. Explore the unknown regions of the emotional experience and set them free with David. Tune in once a month to Becoming a Sun Radio with David Carshare on The Dr. Pat Show and Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit davidcarshare.com today.
Registration is now open for the 25th Annual Women of Wisdom Conference. Join the fabulous presenters from around the country on February 16th through the 20th. If you believe in raising the feminine spirit and transforming our world, then this conference is for you. Get your tickets now. One-day and full weekend passes are available. For more information about presenters and tickets, visit womenofwisdom.org. That's womenofwisdom.org.
Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
You can now join Dr. Bree Gibbs and the Silver Gaia Academy for an all-new inspirational and educational show, the second and fourth Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Join Bree and master teachers on a journey to Gaia. We are always evolving as individuals and the planet. The Silver Gaia Academy is here to help guide and teach you how to raise your spiritual vibration. Will you rise to the occasion?
How would you like to release your stress? and let go of your anxiety, fear, depression, or even physical pain. How would you like to feel more relaxed, more confident, and experience more success in all areas of your life? Dave Dodge from Stress Buster Radio has a number of cutting-edge methods that will help you do just that. For more information on how Dave can help you release stress, visit StressBusterRadio.com. Skype and phone sessions available.
Welcome back, everyone. So we're going to go to a different subject, the Women's March. Kathryn.
All righty.
Let's talk about that a little bit. You know, I'm not a real political person, but I'm going to tell you one thing that I found out in Seattle is there was a group that stood in silence, and they prayed, and we were helping, and I had several calls on it this weekend, that they were standing there and being in silence and trying to raise the spiritual vibration of the planet. Silence is the strongest energy you can put out there.
Well, the whole march was to be done in silence, and then there were speakers at the ends of the march.
Right.
But the idea was the power of silence, that we're not doing chants that distracts people from the focus of the prayerful state.
So what did you get off the march? You went march?
Yes, I did. Okay, let me tie this into the dream, because this is all part of the dreams that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Women have always dreamt about us living on a peaceful planet.
Right. Yes.
That has been forever. They don't want war. They don't want all the things, but yet up until this age, if we didn't go to war sometimes, we would be living in a terrorist state more than ever, but I don't want to go down there. Let's go to the Women's March. The energy, what impressed me the most is this was not, I mean, yes, there will always be people who take advantage. Thank you. I just saw that like on and off. Thank you,
Spirit. Affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
It was about taking a stand for peace. It
Absolutely.
was about taking a stand for humanity and unity in diversity, regardless of your age, your sexual preference, the color, the religion. It was about all people coming together, united, and accepting it's okay for you to be different than me, and it's all right. We can still live in harmony. That was the purpose of the march. And I will say this: yes, there were those that got on their political platform, but there was not one single riot around the world. This happened around the world. Anyone want to go to Facebook?
Millions of people.
See around all those pictures from around the world. Millions and millions of people. I mean, it was standing room only, and they couldn't march in a lot of the places. LA was one of them. They expected 60,000. They got 650,000.
I think it was 750,000 is the last figure I heard on the LA March. Yeah.
Wow. Supposed to only have 2,000 at the most.
Right.
We got like 5, you know.
Right.
So there was very little marching, and there was a lot of standing still and prayer and singing and dancing, and the energy was so high, and the men there were so awesome the way they supported and stood beside their little girls. Some guys were carrying their daughters on their shoulders, and you know, and it's showing them that this is what a woman is really like. This is, to stand in their strength and their center. And it will forever change the planet, because the psychic vibrational frequency that went out from all these people, men and women alike, around the world for unity, diversity, was amazing. And that's what it was about. It wasn't about political agenda, even though some like to make it that way. It was about unity and diversity, and that's what it's about. And so, I was very proud to take part in that march. It was the women and men there were amazing, and the children there were amazing. And the love, because there's one word that we focused on for this march, and the word was compassion. And when I went to the Cryon workshop with Lee Carroll yesterday, Cryon was channeling, he said, we need one word, and that's compassion. So there, once again, and that's what we're focusing on now is compassion for one another. In our diversity, we still need to have that compassion.
Correct. I so agree with that, Kathryn. I so agree with that completely. You have something to say?
Yeah, I have something to say. Prior to the Women's March, and it's continuing, is Standing Rock. And people don't get the significance of what this is about. This is about responding to violence with prayer. Standing there in prayer with no weapons except prayer.
Right.
And this is what this is about, of people coming together. And this is, a lot of people are not understanding. They can come at you with the water cannons, with the rubber bullets, with arresting people, with lies, and and all of this. It doesn't make any difference if you're standing in prayer. That call went out. Indigenous people from all over, the Maori showed up. The Hawaiians never aligned before this.
Yeah.
What?
I was involved in Standing Rock as well.
Yes, I've been involved with it. My son-in-law is Chippewa from Turtle Mountain in North Dakota. So, yeah.
So I want to get to, I'm sorry, but
no, that's
I want
all right.
to
But this is all tied together.
I know.
Of this reemergence of the great feminine.
I know. We're going to talk more about the reemergence of the great feminine pretty soon, aren't we?
The Dalai Lama said it. He said that the women of the Western world would rise up and heal this planet.
Right.
And he's absolutely right.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk about Mount Shasta for a minute.
Right.
I want to bring up Mount Shasta.
That is feminine presence right there.
I'm telling you.
There you go.
So tell us about the retreat. I'm really excited about it.
Okay, people, get on board because this is a lifetime event. We're going up on July 21st through the 28th. We will be staying out in the middle of the forest at an eco resort, having wonderful organic food, et cetera, et cetera. And then we're going to journey onto Mount Shasta and go to many different sacred sites. And the vibrational frequency there is amazing. Do you know, we had people that were 83 and 84 years old that were walking with canes and having issues, and we had them start drinking the water there, and they didn't need them anymore, and they just walked right up that mountain.
That is so true. That is so true. I'm going to let people know that water up there is amazing.
Well, it's the highest. It's just been told it was like pure gold. It's the alchemy.
It is.
The alchemy energy that's there. And we'll be seeing Diane Robbins, who wrote the book Telos, and many other books. People can go to dianerobbins.com, and Diane is spelled with 2 N's, and you have her listed on your show there, Bree, her information. But
we've got her. We've got her 30-second spot on Diane Robbins. She's been a mentor for a lot of us.
Right.
And so we've got her on our website. We got Diane stuff everywhere. Get the 5 books, guys. You guys, this is an awesome
and that week
event.
Is a very high vibrational week.
Correct.
Because there are many groups from all over the world working on the ascension process that are going to be having conferences that week in Shasta. So that week, energetically on the mountain, is going to be the highest of the year.
Right.
And so there's limited space available. People have to go through a screening process with me to be able to go. And we want to make sure that they're ready for this kind of thing to take place.
Okay, well, we have 2 minutes left, so I'm gonna blast this out about Mount Shasta, guys. There's limited space. I will be there, and my business partner and friend Teresa's gonna be there. We're gonna be up there. This is a very high vibrational point that's gonna hit. An open portal is gonna happen on that week. I am not missing it. Get up there, sign up on Kathryn's website. You guys at KathrynLeeman.com and get signed up. This is something that so many different retreats are happening that weekend, that whole week. And I will be there. I'm not missing it. I don't care.
Well, the Dalai Lama said that the energy of Mount Shasta was equivalent to the energy of the Himalayas.
Right.
So we have it. we're in California, so we've got it right in our backyard. You know, I had people coming from Washington, D.C., Virginia, Arizona, New Mexico, all last year. And we're going to do it again this year. And I don't know if I will be leading another one, only if Spirit tells me again, but I'm telling you this one's coming down and there's a few spots left. So
I'm telling you guys, jump on board, get it while you can.
Visionary Soul Psychic website also, and see that they can get, readings and channelings and that sort of thing with me via phone if they can't make it. So I'm available.
All right. Well, we only have a couple minutes left, or a couple seconds left, I should say. Kathryn, thank you for being with us today. And we'll see you again in a couple weeks on the Silver Gaia Radio.
You've been listening to the Silver Gaia Academy, The Journey to Gaia with Dr. Bree Gibbs. Teachings that reach far beyond our Earth dimension and raise the spiritual vibration of the planet. Tune in live every second and fourth Monday to Bree and master teachers who have dedicated their lives to these teachings. For more information about the Silver Gaia Academy and Bree Gibbs, visit silver-gaia.net.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.